Okay, we've been talking about this for 4 weeks, this point in the program, right? Legs are heavy. Right now, Barlow is smashing you a little bit more in the weight room. That's the design of the program. I'm with you. I know the legs are heavy. I understand that. I want them to be heavy, but I need more effort coming through that 20. You got to be closer to PRs right now. We don't need to be hitting them, but you got to be closer. If you're a tenth off, you're not running through that shit, okay? Let's get a couple starts over here and then get back in the gates. Here we go.
Yeah, this is your man Trey, aka T. Smith.
Loved by few, hated by many, respected by all.
Your boy Coach Dan ready to get it in on the world famous
Turftalks, baby.
It's the first down. Corey Bryant. Green, and it's intercepted. Drake Jackson. Let's go. Let's go.
Live my whole life around gangsters. Don't hang around nothing that ain't like us. Twin foes make them put away deuces. My whole hood in the building looking ruthless. All right, here we go. Good evening. It's the world famous Turf Talk, as we can only do it. I want to say this is a special edition. It's got to be a special edition. I'm your host, Trey, also known as T. Smith, one of the 3 hosts of the night. You know what I'm saying? With my main guys, Coach Jackson, Coach G, just checking in. What's up with you, Coach G?
Man, I'm straight like a khaki crease. How you doing, my brother?
Always good to see you. Always good to see you, Coach Jackson. How about yourself?
Man, you know it, man. It's your boy Coach Dan ready to get it in. Ready to talk some football.
Right, man.
With the guru.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, we got a special guest. I mean, for us to stop what we doing, Coach look, it's a special edition, a Turf Talk right here, show 22. We all got on Coach Jackson hit us all up, was like, hey, man, stop what y'all doing. We got a special guest in the house. So with no further ado, we got the one and only Mr. Chuck Smith. Coach G, you got that intro?
Man, you know, Coach, you are well defined because everybody be ringing your name. But I wrote a few things down for you, Coach. Hold on, let me clear my throat.
All right, clear your throat, dog. Clear your throat.
So this is what I wrote down for you guys. We about to get fossil deep. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Many are called, but few are chosen. This coach is 120% committed to his grind. No time for vacations. His name you better Google his name. Better yet, he deserves a standing ovation. Coach, like a blanket in the snow, your DNA is not designed to fit in. For what you're doing, I truly I commend you. And he has perfected technique. He is a man that's stacking. Remember these words: set up, counter, and finish. Do I got it right, Coach? Set up, counter, and finish. A technician. With all further ado, I want to commend you on what you're doing. I know that you have worked with big names such as Albert Haynes. I do want to know, this is just me. I want to know some of the big time people that you worked with. But on top of that, I also want to know, have you ever hit adversity in your life, and how did you get over that? Because someone on your platform, a lot of people don't know you big time, and you stacking first rounders like Pringles to a can. So you different. You're on a whole nother level. So a lot of people think when you meet people like yourself, everything just comes so easy. So have you ever hit adversity in your life, and how did you get over that, Coach? Help me as a coach.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the love, man. Y'all, let me come on here and chop it up with y'all.
Right.
And we all hit adversity in our lives. In 2016, I had some personal issues, man, with alcohol. So, I had some issues with alcohol. So I ended up stopped drinking back then. Alcohol kind of affected my day-to-day life. It wasn't doing good for me in my business or at home. So eventually in 2016, I stopped drinking, and that was big for me. So I haven't drank since then. But yeah, man, I had lots of challenges. And as far as recently, 2016, that's something that, a lot of us have had issues with, and we have to address. And that's something that I was able to address with a lot of support and help from people around me.
Right. And how did you get over that, Coach? Like, what was your inspiration to get over that? Because a lot of people, they seem like when they hit the bottom, that's it. And and I always say, don't leave your dreams on your pillow. That you don't stop dreaming. You got to get up and make it happen. You know what I mean?
Right. I think one of the things that helped me I didn't want my legacy when it comes to the most important part of my life, my family, to be
Right.
derailed because I couldn't stop drinking.
Right.
I didn't want my kids to have to live with that. I didn't want that to eventually be the narrative, that would have been in my community, and it was a blessing that it's never
Right.
really been a big deal outside of my personal family. But I
Right.
didn't want that legacy, man. I mean,
Right.
to carry on. And it was important that my sons get a chance to see me at my best. And that's where I'm at today.
I commend you. It's not about how you fall, but how you get back up,
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Right. Right. And yesterday does not have to define today. I love that. I love that.
Yes, sir. I want to jump in, Coach, before I hand it over to Coach Jackson. Like I said, I'm an admirer, I'm a respecter, I'm a lover of the game of football.
Mhm.
So, just the game itself, I believe it's the game of life. All, and you know what I'm saying, it's human chess. I believe it's all the above, and that's why I think you get 80 to 90 to 100,000 people in the stadium,
Right.
instead of, like, and no disrespect to basketball or baseball, than the 20, 22,000. It's a reason why we get chills in the stadium and we chant names, and we wear jerseys because they're gladiators, like I tell Coach Jackson. So with that being said, and you putting out the talent that you put out, I don't want to disrespect anybody listening right now, or watching, for these kids that may not understand the people that came before their times, because they're all about the last move was the best move, and might not know their history. Can you give a introduction of yourself? And I always say this, don't be humble show, brother. Can you give an introduction of yourself and what you do and where you came from the NFL to exactly what you do now, and maybe name drop a couple names that you help like slingshot to the next level.
Right. Well, first, I started training pass rush probably in the late 90s. I was still an NFL player coming towards the end of my career. And one of the things that I always noticed that, there was nobody that was teaching guys how to get to the quarterback. So in 2000, really, I got incorporated in 2002, but then I became the original trendsetter and the first pass rush and skill trainer at all positions besides quarterback. The only one person that started before me, his name is Steve Clarkson. I want to say he's from San Diego. He's a quarterback coach.
Yeah.
And before me, there was no running back university. There was no foot doctors. There was no wide receiver used. There was no, anyone. So when I started, it was a trend that, wasn't really accepted throughout the NFL. Coaches, people didn't like the fact that there was someone outside of that infrastructure that was teaching. And I just got started. And I started in the beginning, and I'm what you call a master pass rush specialist, but I'm a master trainer. I can train every position in the board. I can train quarterbacks. I can train D-line. Because in the beginning, I put in thousands of hours. In the beginning, I trained every position. It was skill. Because there was no one else out there really teaching it. Definitely no one's out there charging a premium price for it. So from 2002, I started developing all positions, and eventually I had some really good advice that my specialty was defensive line, and it was important for me to specialize that and only train people that really wanted to be the best. So as I'm going all these years, I'm just really the only one, doing it. And so I travel around telling people about the importance of pass rush. People didn't want to hear it. This was we got to stop the run generation, like most D-line coaches still say. We got to stop the run. Yeah, we got to stop the run, but if we don't rush the passer, we're going to be stopping the run a lot because they're running out the damn game clock, So right. As I'm going along, man, I lived like what I call a pass rush life, a football life, all along from the 80s all the way up to the 90s. I always had a big influence of people that helped me along the way, from, let's just say in the 90s, I had a great pass rush coach at Tennessee. When I was at Tennessee, I met Reggie White. Reggie White dropped knowledge on me. Then I ended up getting drafted in 1992. 1993, I was in Florida. Deion Sanders hooked me up with Derek Thomas to study under Derek Thomas. I had an incredible D-line coach in Bill Kolar, who's at Denver, who's coached, multiple Hall of Famers. Right. So all along the way, and then as a trainer going to study, I've studied under, over 250 coaches. Some of them are alive, some of them are dead. Man. John Tierlink, I can name, Jacob Burney, Jay Hayes. And so a lot more went into where I'm at. And this is just a short synopsis, so as I'm going along in my career in 2000, really jumped off probably around 2000. I'd say, I had Albert Haynesworth and some guys. He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year. But I think what took it to another level, or at least got me to the first level, was in 2006, I trained O.C. Yominori, and we trained in 06. That same season, the first game, he had 6 sacks on Monday Night Football. Right. And he started using the move that we invented called the cross chop. So then I started getting guys, people started coming, consulting, all kind of NFL guys, just hella NFL guys, linebackers. Then I just moved forward. Then I went from training, after OC in 06, then 08. I go to the Ravens camp, first pass rush coach to ever go to an NFL camp. Right. Then the next year, Rex Ryan hired me as the New York Jets assistant D-line coach. And then in 2010, I was a head D-line coach at the University of Tennessee. So I went from basically 2007 training because God blessed me with a skill to teach pass rush. It took me to college football being the SEC D-line coach. So subsequently, that wasn't it for me. So I kept training, all these years. Then so I won't go long on y'all, because there's a lot in between there. And then the next highlight, I would say, became in 2014 when I trained Aaron Donald. And when he was out of Pitt, I trained Aaron Donald for the Senior Bowl and started training Aaron Donald. And, he dominated the Senior Bowl. Then, you train AD, I had D Ford, Montez Sweat, Max Crosby, Von Miller, just throughout the years, man, that I've been highly blessed with training guys. And I think another thing that I'll tell you something else, I think that kind of helped me a little bit. And I think it was that players were just looking to learn moves. Right. I'm a move-based coach. I use drills as a blueprint to develop the skilled moves. I'm not a guy that's gonna have 8 hurdles down with a suit hoops. It's not me. That's not what I do. Everything I do is to teach moves. So all these guys wanted to learn how to use signature moves because pass rush was becoming, if the number 1 position was quarterback, number 2 was pass rusher. Right. So, to make a long story short, then you start getting, high school guys that you train that become NFL players. Then you start having NFL players that retire and bring their friends. And so it's just been a blessing. And I think also what's helped me too is being in a region where football never stops. Right. When you're in the South, people, when they walk by you and you represent your school, people, if I walk by with a Tennessee shirt on right now, they say go Vols. People say roll tide. It's not just football season. War Eagle. You know what I'm saying? Go Dogs. Yeah. So I think the region that I'm in, football really never ends. And I'm telling you, it don't. It's every day. It's football is the first love. So people don't turn off Georgia football or Florida or Miami because the Hawks playing. You know what I'm saying? Nobody care about that. That football, they support the other teams, but college and college football is king. So it helped me because I had a lot of good players in the region too. Right.
Man. Pedigree. Man. Hey. That's pedigree right there, man.
I know you cut it short, but you didn't have to cut it short for me because I'm in it. But Coach Jackson, I'm gonna let you tap in, man. But I enjoyed everything you said, brother.
Man,
thank you, man.
Like you said, man. Like you said, man. I was enjoying every part of that. I'm like a sponge right now. I just want to let you know, if nobody else knows, that I'm a Chuck Smith disciple. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like growing up with my son, we watched Chuck Smith videos all the time. And everything like he taught him, everything he would teach, I would teach my son. So I just want to let you know, man, I'm one of your disciples, man, and I appreciate everything you've done just thus far helping us, man. I was just watching a NFL special on the sacks, and
Oh yeah,
that was, and man, I probably watched that video. I just watched it just now. It gave me the chills, but I probably watched that video probably 10, 15 times. But like that's how I'm a high school coach, so that's how I teach my D linemen off of like just different stuff like that. And I started off in Pop Warner and everything, but it was the same way. So it's just definitely been a blessing, man. I got to watch the playoffs, and I know all the guys that you told me not too long ago, all the guys that you train, and just to see all these dudes go off in the playoffs. How do you feel as a coach, man? Like, man, I taught that dude that move. I know for me as a coach, when I teach the moves and the kids do it, and they come back to me like, look, coach, I did it right. You know what I mean? So how do you feel as a coach, man, just seeing the kids prosper and do what they do?
Man, it really makes you proud because the evolution of football, just like anything else, new moves are going to be developed. New moves can be developed, you know, and just like anything, like in the NBA, at one point, there was no crossover move. In the NBA, there wasn't people dribbling doing what Steph doing or Bron doing with the ball. So just like so in football, you know, I'm one of the things that my company does, Chuck's Training Systems, I'm working on new drills. New moves. I got pass rush moves for interior, exterior guys that I'm working on that aren't just like in anything. When you're building something and you're doing it, it's not ready yet. You know, so from that standpoint, I'm really proud. You know, like I did an article in Sports Illustrated like last week for about Von Miller. Man, I'm proud when I see the Ghost. The Ghost was basically developed in the gym when we were in 2014 when I was staying with Von when I was in Denver. It started with years ago with Derek Thomas, Robert Mathis. He didn't do a Ghost, he just dipped. And Von added, you know, he put his hand out and said, now you see it, now you don't. And that's kind of how it goes. So I'm proud of that. I love seeing everybody use the cross chop, especially high school and college kids. And you know, let me tell you what really makes it really special is because coaches hated it. And the trend of the cross chop is it's a movement by the players. You can't deny it. You can't deny it when you see Aaron Donald. I've had coach, oh man, why you jump in the air? Because there's a reason for it, what you're doing. So it really is satisfying when you see AD use the cross chop, or you see Yannick use the cross chop, or you see Max using the Redfield spin, Max Crosby, as we know, we worked on that, him an outside spin. Those are moves, like an outside spin was a spin that was lost in history that no one used. No one used it. Robert Mathis last used it, but no one was really using it. So when you see that, you see the cross chop, you see guys bringing back the old school forklift, and it does make you proud when I watch, like not just like Aaron and Von, Leonard Floyd. When I see Leonard was in Chicago, he needed a move, he developed a cross chop, got paid. And so when you see it, when you see guys developing, man, you like Shaq Barrett. I love Shaq. Same thing. Shaq took one move. He took the cross chop, took off, got money. So even guys that you might not notice, DJ Reader, who starts for Cincinnati, his move, he likes to do a forklift, and he likes to just old school slap rip. It doesn't have to be fancy. So DJ, like Sam Hubbard this weekend will be playing. Loves, you know, seeing what he's going to do. So all those guys is proud when you see guys use moves, but it's also frustrating and for me to see guys who don't have success because the moves are out there. The great ones, the guys who get sacks use moves. The guys that don't get sacks don't use moves. It's just simple as that. But there's smart pass rushers and you got dumb pass rushers. Dumb pass rushers continuously do stuff in practice and they never take it to the game. Smart pass rushers take stuff they do in practice and do the moves. So, I mean, let's not act like Von's the only person that can do the ghost. Or whoever, you know what I mean? Or Brian Burns is the only guy that can do a Redfield, him and Max Crosby. Look how many players in the league can do it. But when that's separated, everybody want 10 sacks.
Right.
But it's those guys who develop the moves. And go back one day and look at all the guys. Just look at the draft. Look at all the busts. Look at all the busts. Like in Atlanta, Vic Beasley, or even a guy like Tack McKinley, guys that are close to home. They ain't got no moves, man.
Right.
They got moves, but what separates them on game day from the other guys? Vic Beasley run a 4.4, man. But when you get on the field, the guys who don't get sacks, you never can see their signature move. So I know what Reggie White did. He did a rear pump. Vaughn likes to spin. He likes to use a ghost. Max Crosby spins to the outside. Yannick likes to cross chop. Fletcher Cox likes to power guys and rip. Vita Vey right now uses an upfield. He uses an off-balance hump move. Now, if I were to tell you some of the guys that don't get sacks, when I close my eyes, I can't say a move. If I can't see a signature move as soon as I think of you, you're most likely not getting sacks, because I know the guys use moves, get sacks, and that's just part of it.
Right, man. If I could say something, Coach, real fast, I hope that our viewers understand the magnitude of this very moment. We have greatness here. I'm a fan. I'm sitting up here taking it all in. You're giving us gems. I mean, your resume goes longer than Jamaican dreadlock itself. You know,
dreadlock. I got still that one, big dog. I got still that, brother.
You know, I mean, but just sitting up here listening to the gems you're giving us, and a lot of stuff is not Rubik cube complicated,
no,
but
it's not.
Knowledge. You know what I mean? And me as a youth coach, I've learned that some people want to crown themselves Coach X's and O's, but you still haven't figured out tic-tac-toe yet. Don't walk around beating your chest, because I commend people. They look at stuff and they get these drills off the internet. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't person and get them to do that and translate on the football field, I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So I think some of these coaches are making it more about themselves than the talent. You know what I mean? So I commend you, because I'm sitting up here and I'm just taking it in. I can say with you all night and just, just keep taking it in. So, you know what, man, I commend you. You know what I mean? I think our viewers really need to know that this is not no petty stuff. We are on a platform right now with greatness. Yeah. Somebody been with the top dogs. You know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it, man. I've also been in my career, one of the things that set the table for me now, I was a youth coach. I was a youth coach for my son's 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old teams. Right. And trying to translate, give them basic stuff to help you win, but also not undercoaching them. So a lot of times at the youth level, well, they can't do this, they can't do that. They can do it if you teach them.
Right.
So that's one of the things that when I was as a youth coach and coaching, 10, 12-year-old, my son. So as well as I was doing all this all along, I've always coached in the park. Even now I go support guys. I'll just go to the park. I just go out to our neighborhood park, and the guys who accept me to come help, I just jump out and help. But then it's got to be a open-minded coach, and most of the people are pretty cool. So I go out and just teach them stance and start. Stance, getting your stance, how to use your hands. But and here's a good example. I'm not the coach at the youth level that's going to make a big boy stand up because he can't get in the three-point stance. Right. Because that happens where I'm from. They'll have a big-ass kid just clog up. He can't get in the stance. You got to teach him how to get in the stance.
That's real.
So there will be times where I will go to a guy might ask me, "Hey Chuck, just come on through, man. I will come help the D-line coach that day." Then he's 10 years old. They got him in the A gap. He's standing up. I said, "No, you're doing him a disservice. Right. Teach him. And if he gets and teach him, if you teach him the right way, he'll understand it. But part of it, you handicap him if you do things like that. So no, I understand. I've been, like I said, a youth coach and supported high schools, college, and pro. Right. And all that has shaped me, man. I tell you that being a youth coach and having to coach up kids and things even to this day, and again, man, youth coaching is the hardest thing ever. Right. Listen, man, you got to be a GM with the parents. Right. I know when I was coaching, it was a 4-day commitment. I know they practice on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. You play on Saturday. That's 4 days. You damn near in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I do respect, man. I've been there, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That was the hardest thing I ever did. Really, believe it or not, is coaching youth football and having to manage it. And you know how that go. You know, it's just it's a job. It's not just a hobby. It's a job.
Right. I'm trying to build character.
Yeah.
Most definitely, man. Hey, it's definitely a pleasure for us to sit here and listen. And like Coach G said, I hope everybody's taking this in, man. We got the one and only Charles Smith right here on Turf Talk, world famous Turf Talk right here. Coach, I want to ask you, I actually got about 5 or 6 questions, but I know you ain't got that much time because you had a long day.
Yeah,
I want to see
have time.
when you see a player
man.
come out. Yeah, hey, well, I'm here. So when you see a player come out, whether a big time player or maybe somebody coming out of college or whatever you're working with, when you see some things, you be like, what is some things that you see and you be like, we gonna have to fix this or we can't work together? So some are younger athletes get an idea for somebody like you with your resume, like you can't bring this to where we work at.
Right. I think one of the first things, it starts with a learning attitude. I get a lot of people, especially I get a lot of dads. I mean, they come in and they always have a lot of, they look at things how they're not open-minded enough to say, maybe I could try it this way a little bit.
Right.
And first thing with the kids is having a learning attitude. It usually comes through the family, and a lot of kids, when you've been told you the ish for a long time, it's hard for them to make change.
Really?
But like when they come to me, my first thing is, from my standpoint, from a trainer and coach's standpoint in the business I'm in, when they come to me, I just I let them know and let their parents know, I don't see where you are. I'm gonna show you where you can be at. And so I don't really, a lot of times people send me, I get all the time, man, hundreds of people sending me film. Hey, tell me what you think. I really don't care to see that, because when I teach in my system, which is proven, I know it worked, I'm gonna start you from the ground up and build you up. But I do look for is the ability to have movement and to be able to retain information. Again, if you're a football player and you don't have a learning attitude, you're not gonna retain the teaching. Because I'm a teacher rush that trains drills. So let's use a good example. Let's use Drake. When I see Drake has great change of direction. He can pivot, he can plant, he's passionate, and then he's got a learning mentality. So when you look at all that movement and all those different things, I'll start teaching him just like I teach Vaughn. I don't put a limit on it. If your son's if I were to train Drake in high school, we doing the same stuff I teach Max Crosby, but I'm gonna teach it. It's the steps that I teach it. But I'm not going to handicap him because he's in high school. It can be taught. So when I look at a player like Drake, I see all the movement and then I see all the things. But then what we do is I basically, when I teach guys, it's like I teach, and I want you to retain it, because I'm going to show you exactly how to win. It's up to you to do it. I'm going to show you how to do this move. I'm going to show you how to break down film. I'm going to show you where protection should be. I'm going to tell you each angle, each step, each hand movement. So really, from my system, you ain't got to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. You just got to retain the information. I'm giving you the knowledge. Right. So when I get in that situation, I show them what to do, and then it's up to them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at guys and say, oh, this, that, but I do look, and I can spot it out real quick. Oh, he could do this better. I look at his angle. I'll notice his approach. I'll notice that his momentum is behind his hands. If you're moving towards an offensive lineman and your momentum's fast, your hands gotta be faster than momentum. So I'll notice that. I'll notice guys with, the guys who just try to block passes. You got real hunters, then you got guys who try to block passes the whole game. That's the guys who'll never get no sack. I'll see that. But then I also see, I can look at a play. When I look at a play and a player, I don't look at what he did wrong. I look at what would happen if he did it right, if he just used the signature technique that, that I would teach, and that, I'm sure you guys would teach, So that's kind of how I approach it. I just start them and build a pass rush from scratch. Even if they're successful, there's no bad in pass rush. No one's bad. It's what needs work, and it's continued development.
Right. Gotcha. I like that.
Coach Jackson.
Yeah, like I said too, man, we appreciate the gems you dropping on us, Coach. I just want to say, man, you played a major part of picking our agent. It's like when you hit me up, I was like, what the heck? Chuck Smith hit me up on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I called my son. I'm like, man, we on the phone with Chuck Smith, bro. And Eddie,
Right.
I mean, just to hear like just your passion for my son to what you can teach him, man. Like I said, just looking at the league, man, and looking at what your body of work with these different players, I'm like, man, my son is in great hands. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I appreciate
Can I stop
you,
you
man.
for 1 second? I'm gonna stop you.
Yes,
The only
sir.
reason I do that, let me just tell you how I do this, man, Coach. I go by experience. I go by experience, and I go by what you do. My thing is, I go by how I see agents treat people. There's a million good agents out there.
Right.
But my thing is, they're all lumped into a basket. All the top guys are lumped into a basket, right? And what that means is I go by what your history is and how I seen. I've been knowing all the agents for 20, 30 years, man. All of them from the 90s. So when I say that, hey, he's good, he gets the job done, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking because I know exactly who they are. So it ain't no gamble. It ain't you ain't take no gamble, Coach. So I know if your son does what he's supposed to do, they're gonna get him record-breaking kind of money.
That's right.
They got connections. They shopping them right now. They're gonna make sure, like out here, I mean, you know, he's at the top spot, man, in the country. You know what I mean? That's what this Exos is. I mean, it is what it is. It's where, you know, and then so when you look at the money, my thing is, do they get their players paid and do they take care of them? And how do they handle their players after their career? And I've been knowing them cats forever. I know all the cats, but I would have told you this too, Coach. I would have told you if his ass was garbage. I would have done that right too. So there are agents that people come to me and say, nah, I don't think they're good. And here's my thing. This is the last way I evaluate, and I've gotten to know all the agents. Would I give them to my son? Would I let my son be represented by him and how they handle their business? And you were one that, I mean, hell, I done dealt with hella players. Hey, I just got done talking to Derek Brown from Carolina, who's with them literally by the program. So them guys, they copacetic, man. And, you know, again, they work with other pass rush guys. And they, you know, there's millions of agents out there, but you got one of the big boys, and it's up to your son to give the big boy some ammo so he can get your son the money.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Coach, I have something, and I've never asked this, but you're on another level. I've dealt with a lot of adversity, and I've been doing pretty good as a coach. Now, if I'm your protege and I come to you, and your blueprint is proven, and if I want to come coach with you, and I try to come in and I try to tell you to change some things, how do you deal with that? Would you just let me change it, or would you stick to your script? If you know what I mean, like how do you deal with stuff like that, especially if your stuff is already proven? So you know, and I come in and I say I don't like this, coach. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's my job to teach you to also do things in your own way, because there's lots of people that have had success as pass rush coaches, as D-line coaches. So I'm not the only one. So I'm always wanting to learn, but I'm also always want to hear, and because there's things that you can teach me.
Right.
You know,
I like that. Right.
You can teach me. So no, I'm always looking for work.
Would you change your whole resume for, you know what I'm saying, if it's already proven?
Yeah. Absolutely not. Because I guarantee success if you use my BGHH system. So here's my thing. I tell them in a minute. I'll tell, I don't give a damn who it is. Rosenhaus, I don't give a damn any of the agents in the game. Use my system, your clients, do what I said. All the money you done paid me, if it don't work, I'll give you every penny back.
I like that.
So my thing is from that standpoint, I'm open-minded to, in my business, to listen to another coach and try to teach him to have success in what he wants to teach. Because everybody comes to me, hey, here's how I see it. Here's how you see it. And then ultimately, I'm not here to try to change people to do what I do. But but when it comes to what I teach in my system, I mean, I never say this actually online. You never see me say this. I'm the best at what I do. And from that standpoint, I know there's a lot of other guys who've had social media, who've had a lot of hype, but there's no one even close. It is what it is. And if you ever been with me, we all have a gift. I'm not a person that just jumped in it. I've had a life of pass rush and development, of watching, of doing it, of being a coach, understanding how a football coach should act and operate. So, I mean, I believe in what I do. I believe that it's been proven, but I'm also got a lot more to prove. I'm also developing and also taking a look at my own system. I'm tweaking my own system. So I'm not sitting here saying, man, everything is perfect. There's an evolution. The players are bigger, stronger, faster. Coaches are more dynamic. So now moves have to be more faster. The preparation has to be better. So now I'm not stagnant and sitting here thinking, oh man, my shit don't stink. I can't get better. I learn and study with coaches all the time and take information that I add to my own knowledge because I want to continue to improve and grow.
Right. I like that. And you stick to your script. That's what I did. I'm like, man, it's proven. I'm not going, you know what I mean? If it's proven, I'm not going to change it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I like that, coach. And I like the fact that you say you believe in yourself. The Bible says, be ye warned of the chosen ones, and you one of the chosen one, coach.
Oh, most definitely.
Most definitely.
We all have gifts, man.
Right.
And for years, I was in balance. I was thinking about, because I would get NFL coaching offers. I get at least 3 or 4 every year. It's about being a pass rush coach or being a D-line coach. Recently getting USFL coaching jobs, college coaching jobs. And I would always waver, man, because I always would waver and say, you know what? My wife, I'd be like, you think I should, what do you think about this? And then she'd always say, you know what you want to do? She knows I'm like you guys, man. I love football.
Right.
People, I said, you ever get tired of talking about football? I said, nope. All the time. It's just, you know how we roll. We all the same way. So then, man, I started realizing as I really as I got older too, I really started seeing where these cats, just like y'all got cats who look up to y'all, be like, yo, man, he's my big OG. So they started calling me Unc. And I guess from all the things I talked about, whether it's going through a bout with substance abuse or being married or having kids, these cats, I started looking more, I don't try to be a father figure. I look at myself like the uncle. I'm always keeping 100 with you, and you can listen to what I'm trying to tell you. So as I kept training, I realized one day, I was like, man, I got a gift. Because I know what to see. I can look at Drake on day one and tell him exactly and look exactly where his projection will be.
Right.
I can look at Jordan Davis and see what's good and what needs work. I can watch a game instantly. Before the snaps up, I can tell almost what, and this is a gift. I can see 4 players and exactly what they did and recite it back. And I don't know how, man. I know I've been all the things I talked about with DT or spending time with pass rushers or spending time with the greatest pass rush coach of all time, John Tierlink, who coached Robert Mathis and Franey and Dolman and Randall, and playing with John and playing with Chris Dolman, Hall of Famer. I played with Reggie White as well as I was his friend. I spent time, went to church with Reggie. You know what I mean? I watched, just so many things. Then at one point, man, I realized, like you just kind of said, I got a gift. And my gift wasn't to be an NFL coach or a college coach and have to, be behind the closed doors, writing up sheets, breaking down film in a closed room. My gift was to be out here and pass the knowledge forward that I have to anyone that wants to hear what I have to say, or at least follow where I'm at. And it's pretty cool now, there's a gateway, there's opportunities now in what we do and what I do. There are gateways to getting an opportunity now from being a pass rush coach to being a real position coach. So it's really cool, the evolution of pass rush. And I just don't know how, I ain't gonna lie, man. Sometimes I just, not only do I love football, but I really truthfully, being 100 with y'all, God gave me a gift, man. And I have so much more that people really, truly don't know. Just even like Coach Jackson, unless you've ever been out on the field with me, I do social media because I got to do it. I got to get it out. I try my best. I ain't gonna front. I'm not like really good like that, but I just have a lot of content. But I got a gift, man. I can teach, and I know it works. And I just, I don't know how it came to me like this, man. But I decided it was best for me to be a coach, a pass rush trainer, and teacher. and just keep paying it forward.
Truly anointed, Coach. Truly anointed. That's what you are.
Definitely, we getting blessed right here on Turf Talk with the one and only Charles Smith, man. AKA Chuck's Big Chuck. Coach Jack, you want to go ahead and tap in with it before we get out of here? I know.
Yeah. I know. Well, you solidified what I was going to ask you about your just your level of coaching, like high school from I mean, not from Pop Warner to college to the NFL, and you said your passion is what you do with the pass rushing, and I think that it's the same with me, because it's like I look forward to like going on the field and helping these kids out. I look forward to going in the gym and getting these kids bigger and watch what they do and how they get the scholarships to different colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I just really want to say, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I definitely giving us these nuggets and giving us the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit. But number one thing that stick out to me when you in your training is you end it with a prayer. You put your hands up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I definitely.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna end our show with like that. So let's do it, man.
You know,
I got one more thing I want to pray for. I'm gonna throw this in y'all lap. And this is the only thing I want y'all to pray for. I have one time I was out in Carson. My homeboy Bob Whitfield is from he went to Banning High School. He's from Carson. Right? So this is a whole nother story, but so I do know a few rappers actually from LA. You know, like Raz Cav's one of my homies, man, like Saphir and all them cats from the old days.
Right.
So
I remember anyway, but that's a whole nother story. But the reason I say that, because I was in the park and I helped a little bit the one time I was out there in Carson, California. But what I want y'all to do, I ain't never been out there and did a camp. If y'all put one together, let's do a super camp, man. I come to LA. If we do it right, I come to LA. We do a weekend, a super camp. And but when I say super camp, I'm talking about it's not based on one-on-one. I don't want to come and just have guys standing around doing one-on-ones.
Right. Yeah.
What I'd like to do is a camp where we teaching and development. I would love to come to LA because I haven't been to LA 20 years and trained and stuff like that. So I would come to LA.
Right.
Let's do it. Get it together, Coach Drake. Get it together, man. Let's do it.
Hey, Smith, can I leave these final words?
Let's do that. Coach, before you get up here, Coach Dennis, he didn't forgot what we were supposed to ask you. I'm gonna remind you right now. Just quick words about the Pro Bowl before we get out of here. As far as the touch game instead of tackle, what's your opinion about that?
I don't really like it. I think the brotherhood in the NFL is super tight. I understand they're trying to stay healthy, but I like to know the watch, because back when I was in the 90s, and this is something I recently seen Deion Sanders say. When Deion was out there, he said, man, it's a good chance for me to see how good Prime really is. I get to go and practice. I get to play against cats, all the best. You know, so my thing is this. I don't really like it. Again, I'm old school, but guys get hurt, all the time. But I'd like to see him go back to the old Pro Bowl. But again, it's interesting. Maybe because I'm kind of like, when I talked to Max Crosby, I was like, Max, you need to turn that thing up, dog. Take it back to the old school. You want to be the MVP? I'm like, yo, dog, turn it up. So Max won the MVP. He turned that thing up. Now
Raiders,
people say, Max was going extra hard. He was going extra hard. I was like, dog, you got the hardware. They're like, you the MVP for the rest of your life of the Pro Bowl.
Yes,
so I didn't like it. I ain't even watch it, man. I watched, man. My son called me. I'm looking at the Pro Bowl. My son was like, Dad, what is this? He was like, I didn't like it, honestly. I didn't watch it. I turned it off, man. It was suspect.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Chuck Smith, we definitely appreciate you, man, checking in with us. I don't want you to ever feel like this the last time. Anytime we can get you on, it's definitely a pleasure. Man, this is one of my favorite shows right here, as far as the teaching room, the playbook, all that on NFL Network was right here. I appreciate it all, man.
Yes, sir. All love, man. All love, all pass rush, man.
Yes, sir.
Man. All right, you guys have a good day, man. Appreciate
end
it.
with that
Coach
prayer.
G,
Let's end with
Coach
that
Jackson,
prayer.
it's always a pleasure as usual. Hey, yes, sir.
We gotta hit that prayer, man. Let's get that thing out, man. We put that prayer down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes,
Turf
sir,
Talk
man.
right here, each and every week, special edition with the one and only Chuck Smith. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
I love, man.
Amen.
Fight on.
Hey, man, y'all do a good job, man. Y'all do a really good job together, man. It's dope.
Right.
Appreciate
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Trey, can I leave these few words?
Yes, sir.
You know, I want to say this, Coach. It was so much knowledge out your mouth. It wasn't your wisdom tooth either. And I want to say this. Never regret a single day of your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. The worst days give lessons, but the best day give memory. This is one day I will never forget. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Love and happiness.
I
Peace.
appreciate it. So, hey, y'all let me know about the camp, and if it's easier, if y'all want to, if it's easier to throw a big one-on-one camp, however y'all want to do it, man. We can do the big man battle of LA, man, and shut it down in LA.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
I'm with
do
it.
it.
Right.
Yes, sir. Y'all. All right, boss.
All right, y'all be cool, man. Hey,
All right.
we need, and I need to be talking to y'all after that damn draft, so we can talk about the team that Drake go to and what's happening.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Dennis,
hey, Coach Jackson,
Dennis, your ass gonna go.
book him in right now. Book him in
Dennis.
right now. Let's get that done.
Dennis, you know what's gonna happen? Y'all ass
What?
gonna go from Southern California. You're gonna be in Green Bay, goddamn, next year with a Drake gonna be wearing mink coats.
Hey, he said Green Bay. He said the Packers called him on the phone. So
Yeah, I know they really like him. I know a lot of people up there, they really like him. And but hey, man, listen, like I told those guys today, and man, the effort is worth the reward. Trust me.
Man.
The effort is worth